Hey everyone. So we're going to start off with the normal round wire Canthal dual coil.
Click over to budgetvapers.com to get some of my most favorite flavors in the entire industry for 15% off using my promo code GabeSentya. When you use my promo code over on Budget Vapers, you can get 120 milliliters of premium e-liquid for just $8.49. Also available on budgetvapers.com is my juice line. The Light Designs liquid line is available in 60 and 120 milliliter bottles. Both my juice line and the many delicious Budget Vapers flavors are developed in a high quality lab down in Florida. When you pick up my juice line or use my promo code, it really helps keep the Light Designs program going, so thank you all so much for helping support the channel. I really appreciate it.
Here's what you need. Alright, so you're going to need something to wrap your coils around. I like to use a screwdriver that's around the size of a drill bit. This is like about a 3 or a 2.5 size. You can also use a micro screwdriver. You can also use a knitting needle, which I use a lot too, which is super fun, but that's for like super intense coils. Additionally, you will need something to cut the coils with. I have wire cutters and I have really tight snip things. This will come in handy, especially with a 3-post RDA. And pliers, just normal pliers. So 24 gauge Canthal. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this Canthal out and we're gonna cut like 6 inches of it. Alright, this is not even attached to the spool at this point, so I'm just gonna pull it. So that's all you need right here. And we're gonna take our snips and just give it a quick snip. So I either like to put my wire, like an inch or two of it, under my thumb right here and then wrap it, or you can also go about an inch in and put your thumb on the screwdriver part right there and then wrap it. It's kind of user preference. I do it both ways, and it just kind of depends on the day. One of the benefits of doing it with the extra lead of wire on the screwdriver handle is you can get it right close to the butt of the screwdriver handle. Screwdriver hammer. Not bad. Alright, so I am going to do a dual 6 wrap. So I'm just going to wrap it around and try to keep it as close together as possible. So for beginner's guide's sake, I'm not going to keep it super close together so I can show you how to fix it, because my first coils were spaced out. Here we go. 1. So that's your 6 wrap right there. I'll do it like a makeup tutorial. And so it's super spread out, and if this is a beginner coil, your coil will probably look like this, and that's okay, because we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it look like pretty coils that you see on TV. Alright, so I did this one a little bit tighter, and that's what it will look like after you've been doing it for a while. It's not perfect, but it's better. So in comparison, there are the two. One's really tight and one's really spread out, but we're gonna get this one nice and tight. So what you want to do to fix this is put it back onto the screwdriver and then take your fingernails and smush it against the butt of the screwdriver. Nothing super hard. It's like if a spring got like spread out, like you like stepped on your slinky got spread out, or like you got into a fight with like your sibling and they're like, oh, give me one side of the slinky dog, I want the other side, and his guts get all ripped out. You just put them on a screwdriver and just squish them together. Now we have this pretty close together, and obviously it's not going to be as tight as the one that's good because you're just smushing a spring into the side of a screwdriver. So we're going to need heat to get this perfect. But before we have heat, we need to fix these leads. We're putting this on a 3-post RDA, which means there are 3 posts. And so there is a center post, which is your positive. Now this center post is carrying the electricity from the center pin on the bottom. This is your 510 pin right there, and the electricity goes up through that and touches this one. So that's your positive. Think of like a 9-volt battery, and the outside is your negative. And so with 3 posts, that means 2 of these leads. The word lead means the extra wire that is going through these holes right here. are going to be, so 2 of those leads are going to be sharing this center hole, which is not a problem. We just got to do it a little bit differently than you would a 4-post or a 2-post RDA. Macro shot away! Adam West! Alright, so this is the coil right here that we're about to install. So here's how I like to do it. I like to get it kind of lined up with my fingers, or I can put that screwdriver in and kind of hold it, which I recommend doing because it keeps it nice and flat and level, and you want that because the juice will get into your coil evenly. You take another screwdriver and you tighten up these little screws right here. And don't worry, we're going to be moving this all around. It's not going to stay where it is. And this is just how I like to do it. Kat is sitting on the couch next to me, and she enjoys doing this a completely different way and thinks this way is really inefficient. But hey, it's not her tips and tricks video.
It's not.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is take this micro screwdriver and we're going to push it over, like right here. And this was that coil that we did not the best, so it's still kind of spread out. But why I'm pushing it over to the center here is because that's where our airflow is going to line up. And so we're going to try to get it as close to that airflow hole as possible so we can get maximum airflow. And I like to pull it out a little bit too, so I'm going over and out. And I don't want it to extend past the deck. This piece right here, this bottom piece, is called the deck, and this like wall reservoir thing is called the juice well, just in case you didn't know. So I'm trying to get it over. I don't want it to go past the deck, but I'm getting it kind of close because this is a 3-post, so a little bit of the lead of the other wire is going to be hanging out here. And you don't want them touching because sometimes your wires can melt, and that's no fun because you just put a lot of effort into this. I'm going to take these little snips, and you can use the normal wire cutters. I just like to be a perfectionist and use these little snips.
You're just like saying little snips.
I do just like saying little snips. When you dry fire it, try not to breathe up. A little bit of smoke will come off of these coils, regardless of if it's Kanthal, stainless steel, titanium, nichrome, whatever it is. Just try not to breathe that up, regardless of the wire, because it's not good for you. Right now I'm dry firing it, and what that means is I'm just getting it glowing red, and I'm pulsing the button, which means I'm just pressing it a bunch of times. And what we're going to do is take our pliers. Now this is very important right here. You'll see a lot of crazy coil builders using ceramic pliers and ceramic tweezers. Why they use those is because you can be pressing the button and squishing your coils at the same time. Now, with metal pliers like these ones right in front of me, if I was to do that, my wire would melt and we would lose all that progress and I'd be really aggravated. Don't touch your coils with the pliers while you're pressing the button, essentially, because it's not a good time. So I'm pressing the button, getting it glowing red. I'm about to touch my coils, finger off the button, about to give it a light squeeze, just like that. And you don't have to get it all in one. It's actually better if you only do a little bit at a time, because you don't want to sandwich your wire and ruin it. And so you can see that it's all glowing more evenly now. And why we squish this together is because it holds that heat together and it carries the current faster. And you want to see your coil glowing from the inside out. So if you look closely, you'll see that this coil is glowing from the inside and then out. And this definitely shows up more on series coils because you have bigger coils. So now this is pretty, squished together, but it's shimmied a little bit from squishing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our screwdriver back in, and we're just going to make sure it's alright. We're going to give it a little push, a little pull, do one of these things, and you'll see people strumming your coils a lot and people going inside like that. And why they're doing that is it's to get a layer of oxidation on the wire. And I'll do a tutorial on nichrome later on. So that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is make sure my fitment is okay. Hashtag stance life. I'm going to put on my top cap and make sure my coils fit inside. They're not rubbing on the outside, the interior of the top cap or anything like that. They're not too high up, they're not too low down, I'm gonna screw this top part on, and that's pretty perfect. Now we need to wick that up. Alright, so now it's time to wick this up. And I like to wear a glove, or 2 gloves, when I'm wicking. And what wicking means is I'm using cotton that is specifically made for vaping. I have some house blend cotton from my friends at Granite State Vapor. So what I like to do is these cotton pads come with 2 hard pieces and a center piece of cotton fluff. Picture like a piece of bread. You have crust on the top and the bottom and all the sides, and in the center it's really soft bread. A lot of people pick that apart and grab the center cotton. I just like rip it in half, so there's half bread, half crust, half bread, half crust. It doesn't really matter. If you like to use the crust, honestly, there's not really much of a difference. So what I'm going to do is take a little piece of cotton that I've just cut, and I twist the end of it pretty tight, just like this, so it will fit through my coil. So I just send it right through. Nothing too crazy. You can use tweezers. Actually, tweezers are really helpful to grab this, just like this, and you send it through. And now I have this part that I didn't twist, and why I'm wearing the glove is when I'm twisting it, skin oils, all kinds of crazy stuff from your hands can get on there. Like, I spray paint a lot, as you guys know, so it's always on my hands and stuff. So I just grab it and pull this big cotton puff of cloud through, and you want it to be really snug like that. And so I leave a little on either side. Now I'm gonna, this is a little bit too wide, so I'm gonna cut this in half. Alright, now it's time to cut them. And back in the day when I first started vaping, I thought the more cotton the better. Not necessarily. So what I like to do is cut it on the side of the juice well. Here's the side of the juice well. I just run my scissors on the edge of it and cut it from there, and then cut it from there. And this one on the side facing you guys is a little big, so I cut it like that. So now I'm going to take my cotton and just push it down, straight down to the juice well. Don't send it under, just go straight down, because if you send it under, it's not good. Just don't do that. So you send it straight down, and that's all there is to it, just like that. And I like to just push my coils in just a little bit more like this, and I like to hold them in with my gloved hand and just tighten up all my screws one last time. That's really good. So that's it.